Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Paying my obeisance to the lotus feet of Sri Ramakrishna, Mother Sharda Devi, and Swami Vivekananda, I offer my heartfelt pranams to all of you. Yesterday, all of you might have noticed, there was full moon, and also there was eclipse, lunar eclipse, from 5:30 to 9 o'clock. There was also another special occurrence yesterday that was celebrated all over the world. What was that? That was the birthday of Lord Buddha, Gautama Buddha. And 2 or 3 days back, there was another manifestation day of the great avatar of Vishnu, that was the manifestation day of Lord Narasimha. Now, a teacher asked Bob in the classroom a question. Bob, now your friend John has 36 candy bars. He eats 29 of the candy bars. What does he have now? To which Bob replied, teacher, he will have diabetes. Now, a man approached Lord Buddha and asked him a question. O Lord Buddha, I want happiness. What was the question by this person to Lord Buddha? O Lord Buddha, I want happiness. Buddha replied, my dear child, first remove I and then remove want. Now see what remains. I want happiness was the question, or he posed this to Buddha. Buddha is asking, my dear child, first remove I, then remove your want. What remains in the I want happiness? If you remove I and what? Want happiness. So what is I? The ego. And what is want? Desire. If you remove this ego, selfishness and desire, then happiness is already there. That was the wonderful answer given by Lord Buddha. So generally, all over ashramas in the world, they celebrate Buddha Jayanti. Pelur Math also, every ashrama. Somehow that practice is not here. So we will make use of this opportunity. Though we are not keeping any photos or singing his songs, we can remember some of the aspects of life of Lord Buddha and also some of the teachings of Lord Buddha. Now, what did Sri Ramakrishna, our ideal, tell about Buddha? Ramakrishna in the Gospel, he tells, Buddha is an incarnation of God. How can you compare him to anybody else? as he is great, so is his teaching great. Ramakrishna is now posing the question to all of us. Do you know what Buddha means? You know, some of us, especially in South Africa, we follow the pronunciation of the Western people. We anglicize our even Hindu names too. Okay, if you can anglicize the English and the other words, it's good. But we anglicize our own Hindu words too. What do you call Buddha? They don't want to pronounce Buddha, Buddha. They will tell, like the Western people, Buddha. In Hindi, Buddha means old man. So you should not call Buddha like the anglicized people do. It is Buddha. Now, Ramakrishna is asking, do you know what Buddha means? It is to become one with Bodha. What is Bodha? Pure intelligence. Bodha means pure intelligence. Now, you repeat the Gayatri mantra. In that, you pray to the Lord. Dhiyo yo naha prachodayat. Dhi is that intelligence, pure intelligence. You are praying, but you are not aware of it. We mechanically, like a parrot, repeat Gayatri mantra, but we won't go to the meaning at all. Now, through this, you can get, Ramakrishna is telling what is Bodha. In that word Buddha, it is to become one with Bodha. Buddha means, that is pure intelligence. By meditating on that which is of the nature of pure intelligence, that is God, it is to become pure intelligence itself. That is what Sri Ramakrishna told. In another place, Swami Vivekananda tells, now we all worship God. We have an ideal as God and we go forward. But Jainism, and Buddhism, which are offshoots of Hinduism, they don't believe in any gods and goddesses. They don't preach gods, and they are called agnostics or something like, yes, God may be there, soul may be there, but we don't want to be concerned about it. That is their attitude. Now, then Vivekananda tells, if they don't believe in Vedas, in the Jainism and Buddhism, if they don't believe in God, then what do they believe in? Swami Vivekananda tells that they believe in you people becoming God. We believe in God and forget. Do the worship, put some flowers, make some prasada, eat, and you go and lead whatever kind of life you want outside and everywhere. But what by Swami Vivekananda meant by becoming God is to develop your character. You yourself becoming that God. Developing your character, man-making and character building. That is, they wanted to become Buddha yourself. So it's a position, it is pure intelligence. That is what is meant by Buddha here. Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is telling. Now Swami Vivekananda tells about Buddha that all of my life I have been very fond of Lord Buddha. I have more veneration for that character than any other. Why? That boldness, that fearlessness, and that tremendous love. He was born for the good of human beings. Others may seek God. Others may see truth for themselves. But Lord Buddha, he did not even care to know the truth for himself. He sought truth because people were in misery. He saw around, the whole world was in misery. So he sought the truth not for his emancipation, but to remove the misery of the people, the humanity. That is self-sacrificing nature of Buddha, which is very prominent. So Swami Vivekananda is telling he did not even care to know the truth for himself. He sought truth because people were in misery. How to help them? That was his only concern throughout his life. He never had a thought for himself. No selfishness at all. That is what is required of all of us. We think we all believe in God. When we come to the temple, we have good thoughts, we do good deeds. The moment we are out of the temple, the moment we are out of the shrine, the old man is back. We do whatever we want. We think whatever we want. That is not what Lord Buddha is teaching us, and Swami Vivekananda is reminding us of. To become Buddha, to become God, to get the divine quality is religion, is spirituality. Now, going forward, Swami Vivekananda is telling Buddha died at the age of old age. At a ripe old age, he was more than 80 years old. Swami Vivekananda is telling, I remember a friend of mine, a great American scientist, a European in America, who was fond of reading Buddha's life. He did not like the death of Buddha. Why? Because Buddha was not crucified at all. They think that all prophets and saints should be crucified or killed by their followers. Then only he can be called as a saint or a prophet. That is the idea in the Semitic religion in Western countries. So, but Buddha lived for more than 80 years, ripe old age, and passed away naturally. So that's why this Westerner in America, after reading the life of Buddha, he's telling, I didn't like the idea the way Buddha died. Why? Because he was not crucified at all. That is the idea. So in the Western country, in the Semitic religions, Jews or any other country, you can see the prophets are killed, crucified. Jesus Christ was born a Jew. He was crucified by them. But Buddha was not at all killed or crucified, even though he preached against the Vedas, against Hinduism, against the wrong practices done during that time. He was not killed. He was respected. That is Hinduism. That is India, where saints are venerated, where they are respected. So that aspect of Hinduism, Swami Vivekananda is drawing here. This Western guy did not like the death of Buddha because he was not at all crucified. What a false idea for a man to be great, he must be murdered. Such ideas never prevailed in India and Hinduism. This great Buddha traveled all over India, denouncing her gods and even the gods of the universe, and yet he lived to good old age. For 80 years he lived and had converted half the country into Buddhism. But nobody killed him. That is the speciality of Hinduism. That is India. Now, let us see a little life of Buddha. Lord Buddha, he was born in Lumbini Grama. I had been to that place 2 years back when I went to India. It's in the border of India and Nepal. From India, I went to Gorakhpur, the place of Yogi Adityanath. His ashram is there. From there, Gorakhpur, I entered the border. For Indians, there is no passport or, visa to go to Nepal. So I could easily enter through the road. I went to the Lumbini Grama, where Lord Buddha was born more than 3,000 years back. The place, the palace, the broken palace, where Buddha's birth took place, where mother of Buddha gave birth, that place is still maintained. I had been to that place, Lumbini Grama. According to the accounts given in the life of Buddha, At the birth of Prince Siddhartha, his name was earlier called Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha to be the Brahmin priests, because Buddha was a Hindu. He was a Kshatriya. He was born in a princely family. So the Brahmin priest predicted that he would either become a world teacher. You know, here in South Africa, Vittal, open the book. What is opening the book? To see the astrology or Jyotish or whatever. So these Brahmin priests opened their books and saw what will happen to this child, Siddhartha. The Brahmin priest predicted that he would either become a world teacher or a world ruler, an emperor. So his father was very afraid, Shuddhodana. Now he didn't want that he should become a sannyasin or a world teacher, religious man. I've seen so many people in India and everywhere telling their son or their daughter, they don't want them to become a sannyasin or a saint or a godly person. But they tell openly, he may become a thief, he may become a drug addict, he may become a murderer, but he should live in the house. He should not become a sannyasin or a monk, because he will run away from the house, he will go away from the house. Some of the thoughts like that is prevailing even today. And then too, now his father too was no more than that. So Prince Siddhartha's father, the Raja of the Shakya clan, Shuddhodana, did not allow him to see death, suffering, and distracted him with luxury and luxury and luxury. From childhood, he kept him in such secure place, not allowing him to go outside, just protected him everywhere, gave him only luxury and success. And when he came to the youth, he was married to a very beautiful girl. He had even a child, small child. So he gave all the best things because he wanted him to become a great emperor, not become a great monk. He distracted him with luxury. During this childhood and youthhood, Prince Siddhartha had a meditative experience which made him realize the suffering, dukkha, inherent in the whole of existence. He grew up and experienced a comfortable youth, but he continued to ponder about religious questions. And when he was 29 years old, one day with his favorite servant, he took him in a chariot. Today it is like a car. Then he was rich and a prince. So in his chariot with his servant, he went around the city without telling his father. He wanted to go out. So while going out, on the way, what did he see? He saw for the first time in his life 4 sights. What was that? An old man, tottering old man. Then a severely sick person, and a corpse, dead body was being carried. And then he also saw an ascetic who had dedicated his life to God, a monk. That brought about a change in his life. Shortly after, Prince Siddhartha woke up at night and saw his female servants lying in unattractive poses, which shocked the prince. Moved by all these things he had experienced, the prince decided to leave the palace behind in the middle of the night against the will of his father, to live the life of a wandering ascetic, leaving behind his just born son, Rahula, and wife, Yashodhara. Now, he traveled with his charioteer, Chandaka, and horse, Kantaka, cut off his hair. Leaving his servant and horse behind, he journeyed into the woods and changed into monk's robe. He followed yoga. And what happened? He sat for many years. He wandered. He went to different gurus. He wanted to know the truth. Nowhere could he find. So many temptations, so much of hardship. Then one day he came to the place. I went to that place too. Last year when I went to India, I went to that place too. What was that? Bodh Gaya. I went to that Gaya, Vishnu Gaya, where Lord Vishnu's feet is there, from where Ramakrishna was born, Gadadhar Vishnu. So that place, a little 30 kilometers away, we have the place called Bodh Gaya. So there, under a peepal tree, Bo tree or a peepal tree, we have planted one tree here. It is growing slowly, that peepal tree under which Buddha attained that nirvana. So under the tree, he sat and decided. He made a resolve, firm resolve. What is that? We will go through the words of Swami Vivekananda. What is Vivekananda telling about the firm resolve of Buddha? That is true religion. That is true spirituality. We think eating prasad and going here and there is spirituality. What is true spirituality? What is religion? He alone can be religious. Who dares say, as the mighty Buddha once said under the bo tree, when this idea of practicality appeared before him, and he saw that it was all nonsense and yet could not find a way out, when the temptations came to him to give up his search after truth, to go back to the world and live the old life of fraud, calling things by wrong names, telling lies to oneself and to everybody, he, the giant in spirituality, conquered it and said, death is better. Ihaiva me shariram shishyatu. I will sit in this posture. I will not take food. I will not take anything. I will be in deep meditation. Let this body wither away, dry away without food. Let it fall here. I'm not going to get up from this place. That was the resolve he took. I will realize the truth. Until then, I'm not going to get up from this place. That was the resolve made by Lord Buddha. Death is better than a vegetating, ignorant life. We are living the life of a vegetable, a vegetative life. That's all is our life. So better than that, death is better than a vegetating life. It is better to die on the battlefield than to live a life of defeat. This is the basis of religion. This is the basis of religion. When a man takes this stand, he is on the way to find the truth. He is on the way to God. That determination must be the first impulse towards becoming religious really. That is religion. I will hew out a way for myself. I will know the truth or give up my life in the attempt. That was Lord Buddha. So we saw his life. We should also know some of the beautiful teachings of Buddha, which will really inspire us. Now, Swami Vivekananda, while he was speaking in the Parliament of Religions, after that famous talk in 1893, September 11, then he became a very popular figure. He was given many chances to speak. One of the day, he was given to criticize or give some critical remarks about the religion called Buddhism. So during that speech, what was that? Buddhism, the fulfillment of Hinduism. 26 September 1893. Vivekananda is telling, you have just now heard that I'm going to criticize Buddhism. But by that, I wish you to understand only this. Far be it from me to criticize him, that great Buddha, but that I wish you to understand, far be it from me to criticize him whom I worship as God incarnate on earth, but our views about Buddha are that he was not understood properly by his own disciples, let alone others. the relationship between Hinduism, Hinduism, the religion of Vedas, and what is called Buddhism at the present day is nearly the same as between Judaism and Christianity. Jesus Christ was a Jew and Shakyamuni or Buddha was a Hindu. The Jews rejected Jesus Christ, they crucified him. But the Hindus have accepted Shakyamuni as God and worship him even today. But the real difference that we Hindus want to show between Buddhism and what we should understand as the teaching of Lord Buddha lies principally in this. Buddha came to preach nothing new. He also, like Jesus, came to fulfill, not to destroy. Only in the case of Jesus, it was the old people, the Jews, who did not understand him. While in the case of Buddha, it was his own followers who did not realize the import of his teaching. As the Jew, he did not understand the fulfillment of the Old Testament. So the Buddhists did not understand the fulfillment of the truths of Hindu religion. Again, I repeat, Buddha came not to destroy, but he was the fulfillment, the logical conclusion, the logical development of the religion of Hindus. Now, Swami Vivekananda tells that after coming, he brought about the truths of Vedanta to every common man. He opened the truth of Advaita Vedanta to everybody without the distinction of caste, creed, or anything. He brought that beautiful truth to the common man. That was Buddha, according to Swami Vivekananda. Now, the wonderful leaven which Buddhism has brought to the masses and which has rendered Indian society so great was, you can see what was the teaching and the life of Buddha, which brought a difference in the society in Hinduism at that time. During that time, a Greek visitor to India, during that maximum height, Buddhism and Hinduism had reached both in a wonderful way. What is the record there? The wonderful leaven Swami Vivekananda tells, which Buddhism had brought to the masses and which had rendered Indian society so great that a Greek historian who wrote about India of that time was led to say, just here, what is he telling about India of that time when Buddha had transformed and Hinduism and Buddhism were coexisting? So what did this Greek man see? And he proclaims about Hindus. He says, he wrote about India of that time. He was led to say that no Hindu was known to tell an untruth. And no Hindu woman was known to be unchaste. This is recorded by a Greek traveler in India. It is recorded truth. No Hindu is known to tell an untruth, and no Hindu woman was known to be unchaste. So Swami Vivekananda tells Hinduism cannot live without Buddhism, nor Buddhism without Hinduism. Then realize what the separation has shown to us, that the Buddhists cannot stand without the brain and philosophy of the Brahmins or the Vedic Hinduism, nor the Vedic Hinduism without the heart of Buddhists. That is why when we separated it, that was the cause of downfall of India. That is why India is now populated by, that is Swami Vivekananda's time, by 300 millions of beggars. That is why India has been the slave of conquerors for the last 1,000 years. Let us then join the wonderful religion of Hinduism and Buddhism. Then you will see how Hinduism can grow. Intellect of the Hindus and the heart of Buddhism, the noble soul, the wonderful humanizing power of great master Buddha. Now, let me take you through some very important teaching of Lord Buddha and conclude. And what is that? Buddha used to always tell his disciples, be practical, be practical. Always be practical. That was the teaching of Buddha. No jumbo mumbo jumbo. No superstitions. Be strong. There came to him one day 5 young men quarreling about a question. They came to him, asked him the way to truth. One of them said, my people teach this, and this is the way to truth. The other said, I have been taught this, and this is the only way to truth. What is the right way, sir? Well, you say, Buddha replied, people taught this truth, and this is the way to God. Yes, but did you see God? Was the question asked by Buddha. Did you see God? No, sir. Your father, has he seen God? No, sir. Your grandfather? No, sir. None of them saw God. No. Well, and the people who are preaching you? Neither, sir, of them have seen God. No. And he asked the same to the others. They all declared that none had seen God. Well, said Buddha. Now he told a small story. In a certain village, there came a young man weeping and howling and crying. Oh, I love her, that girl, so much. Oh, my love, I love her so much. And the villagers came, and the only thing he said was he loved her so much. Who is she that you love? Asked the villagers. I do not know. Where does she live? I do not know. Have you seen her? No, I have not seen her. But he loved her so much. Can you imagine? He loved her so much. He doesn't know where she lives, who she is, what is her name. Now Buddha continues. How does she look at least? That also I do not know. But oh, I love her so much. Then asked Buddha, young man, what would you call this young man? All of them replied, he's mad. He's a fool. He's a madman. All of them declared. Why, sir? That young man was certainly a fool, a madman, a lunatic, to be crying all about that a woman, to say he loved her so much, and he has never seen her. He never knew she exists. They do not know whether existed or not. Then Buddha told, are you not the same? Or all of us not the same? Pose this question to ourselves. Are we all not the same? You say this God, your father or your grandfather never saw. Now you are quarreling upon this, which neither you nor your ancestors ever knew, and you are trying to cut each other's throat about it. Then the young man asked, what are we to do now? Now tell me, did your father ever teach that God is ever angry? No, sir. Did your father ever teach that God is evil? No, sir. He's always pure. Well, Buddha told, see, the conclusion is wonderful. Now, if you are pure and good and all that, do you think that you will have more chance to come near that God than by discussing simply philosophy, all this, and trying to cut each other's throat, fighting each other? What would be better? If God is pure, if God is not evil, is it not better for you to become good and doing good and becoming pure, by which you will be more nearer to God than by discussing all these things and cutting each other's throat and killing each other? What is practical? Wonderful. So first realize God for yourself, the truth. Don't just speak on it. How practical. Therefore, I say, Buddha told, be pure and good. Be pure and love everyone. And that was all. What a wonderful question and the answer by Lord Buddha. That's why Swami Vivekananda used to tell always, what is the summum bonum, the essence of all religion? Very simple. We make it complicated. What is that? Be good and do good. This is the teaching of Vivekananda. The same philosophy. What is that? Be good and do good. That's all. Nothing else. This is religion, essence of all of religion. Nothing else. So simple. Be good and do good. That's all Buddha wanted us. So let us understand this practical philosophy. Make it practical in our life. Try to realize that God. How to realize that God? Becoming one with Him. How to become one with Him? God is unselfishness. God is pure. Then let us become pure. Let us become unselfish, by which we will be more nearer to God than talking all philosophies and fighting with each other. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.